because this is how the behind the scenes works for GPS. We have a running Google Doc.
Yeah.
And, like we'll add a couple things in there. Monday, there's not really a whole lot in there because we're just recapping all the games. Wednesdays when we actually have to put in a few things because it's like, oh man, what are we going to talk about? And Friday, so today I wake up and I'm like, you know what? Vikings are in trouble. NFL Week 8 preview. And Perna goes, let's do that, but make trouble in all caps is why we work so well together.
That is and that's the extent of our rundown. We have nothing in there, no talking points, no data entries, just Vikings are in trouble in your power rankings, which I was cramming here in the last seconds.
That was tough to watch, dude. Like Wentz at times was like he was in some like, and that's not what we're making fun of. Like, dude, like Wentz, they were like, he was holding his elbow, like his arm. He looked to be in a severe amount of pain. They didn't put Brosmer in until the very, very end. And that, like, I understand that Brosmer's not going to really do much more than Wentz, but man, like at some point, it's not like he's playing well. Like Carson Wentz had a really tough night. And it just, I don't know why he was in that game for as long as he was.
His shoulder, right? Is his non-throwing shoulders all jacked up?
Yeah, he was holding on his left arm because he has like a brace sleeve kind of thing going on too. So, yeah.
Oh, to be clear, I thought it was hilarious that they were playing him through all the pain.
They were just like,
I was laughing the whole time.
You? And now,
oh, look at how much that man is hurting. I'm kidding. I'm sure there were Packers fans like that. Yeah, I'm sure there were. I mean, they're out there hiding.
Packers fans, we were just enjoying the fact that the Minnesota Vikings are sucking the amount that they're sucking.
Out there.
You're the one who is just like, oh, I predict Joe Burrow is going to get injured. Oh, I predict this person's going to get injured. It would be terrible if this player got injured.
This was an interesting game. I mean, the game wasn't interesting. There are interesting storylines because of this game now. Vikings got their ass kicked.
This is their 2026 cap, which they're currently $36 million over the cap.
Sick.
So, yeah, this is an issue for the Vikings for a number of reasons. One, obviously they lost. Now, at the same time, they got a whole bunch of injuries, right? J.J. McCarthy is still out. We just don't know about J.J. McCarthy, though, and I think that's ultimately the issue, too, is he's just a huge question mark because they had that stat up yesterday, and I was like, that's such a BS stat. There was, like, missed 22 out of 24 games. I was like, you missed the entire season last year because he got hurt before it even began. So I don't know if you can hold that against him. But anyway, yeah, so I feel like for the Vikings, the problem that they're in, and this whole they should have kept Sam Darnold thing, I'll actually go to the bat for the Vikings here. It was never going to happen. There was no shot, man. If you draft J.J. McCarthy in the first round and he already doesn't play for an entire year, you're saying, listen, we're going to go with the kid because we got to see what we got. Because the only way that they were going to keep him is they were going to have to give him a good amount of money for Sam Darnold, right? Even if it was a 3-year deal. And then how long are you having JJ sit? Now, of course, him getting hurt, you couldn't predict that. And, that could have changed things. But I'm not going to crucify the Vikings for not keeping Sam Darnold, even though they were more competitive.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't crucify him. But it goes to show you how fickle the decision-making process can be in the NFL and how it can drastically affect your team if you make the wrong decision. And I think with the quarterback position specifically, and if I recall at the end of last season, I was like, I know the Vikings have drafted J.J. McCarthy, but you don't get quarterbacks playing as well as Sam Darnold easily. And then Sam Darnold plays 2 bad games and everybody's like, oh yeah, good riddance. Get rid of this motherfucker. That's the quarterback that's going to be the quarterback forever. Those last 2 games of Sam Darnold, terrible dude, sucks at ball. Those first 14 or 15 games, that was the outlier, right? You're always weighing money in your salary cap. And yes, you invested a high draft pick on J.J. McCarthy because Sean Payton duped you into doing it. Never forget that part of the story, Minnesota. But I think Kevin O'Connell in that situation has to understand the team's success this year and the next couple years are in better hands with Sam Darnold, and they have to make the case to have him there and be like, you know what? It's okay if J.J. McCarthy doesn't play this next year or the year after. And where do they look for that example, Tom?
The
Where?
Green Bay Packers.
Exactly. And it's never an apples to apples situation.
Sure.
And it's never the right answer every single time. But the further this season goes along, and JJ can come in and he can start playing really good football, and we'll forget about this in 2 weeks. If he has 2 good games, nobody's going to remember this conversation. But at this moment, letting Sam and
I didn't see that, Junior.
I don't think they let Sam Darnold go. I think they tried to keep him, but Sam wanted to go to a place where he was going to have a chance to be the starter and keep his job as a starter. And that probably wasn't the case in Minnesota. Even Daniel Jones didn't want to go back to Minnesota because he wanted to start. And I don't know if Dan Jones is having the same success in Minnesota as he's having with the Colts right now, right? But like,
because the O-line's still an issue.
Yeah. There's a lot of circumstances that make this situation unique, but bottom line, the Vikings would be better right now if they had kept Sam Darnold. And they said, you know what, JJ, we love you. We believe in you. You're coming back from an injury. We're going to work you into being the starter one day. But right now, it's Sam's team, and we're gonna do it. Another weird part of this is their Vikings defense is just kind of looked crappy the last few games.
Yeah, it hasn't been great.
But anyway, sorry. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings decision and how this has kind of just been like a low-key, yeah, you kind of wish you would have kept Sam Darnold right now.
Well, and I think it maybe was made a little bit easier after those last 2 games, right? So like against the Lions and the Rams, because this was a decision that we were talking about this leading up into the playoffs last year going,
yeah, you and I debated it, I feel like multiple times.
Yeah, like, are you going to keep Sam Darnold? Like, or are you just going to let him start? And it just feels like with the amount of money that's invested in this team, right? There is a window where it's like, all right, they're going to be super competitive. Now, again, the Vikings have been beat to crap this year, like a bunch of other teams. Like they have some pretty big injuries. But to see how far they've fallen and you're not even given a good evaluation on your new quarterback, that's the larger problem here. Because until JJ McCarthy plays consistently, you're not even going to be able to evaluate and say like, hey, here's our guy for the future or not. And if he's not the guy, then yes, then this is going to age absolutely terribly. Then letting Sam Darnold go is not going to age well. But we're not even at that point yet because the Vikings last night, they just looked like a bad football team, but it's also with, their QB2 and their QB3. It's Carson Wentz in 2025, which, results are going to vary.
Yeah. Carson Wentz, he's not the worst quarterback. You got to admire his performance playing through an obviously very painful injury. Oh, yeah. There's all that stuff there. I think like it comes like if you have a quarterback on your roster and he leads you to 14 wins, you can't let that man out of the building. You can't. I think if I'm a GM, that's one of my things. If my quarterback wins me 14 games, I'm not letting that guy go. Even if I already did this other thing, right? And now Vikings fans they're asking for old Kirk Cousins to come back.
Come on, Kirk, let's go, buddy. Let's saddle up once again.
They made the smart move. They let Cousins go, and that probably screwed them. They looked right for letting Kirk Cousins go, and they're like, you know what, we can let Sam Darnold go too.
That's phenomenal.
But watching Sam with the Seahawks has been fun. Yeah. He's doing a little redemption arc himself.
Mm-hmm.
But
there you go, Viking. I'm happy for you. There you go. Yeah, if you're a Portland fan and you didn't like your head coach, then you're just like, good day.
Come on, man.
It was a good day. Or they got a fitting.
Oh, Andrew. Yeah, develop. I can't remember a time where so many dude, Will and I have been kicking around that video idea of like, it's every year, it's a new reclamation project. And you're like, oh, fuck, that quarterback's pretty good again.
But how many times have you and I spoken about this, right? In that we are in such, and this is how the NFL has been for a long time, but like things like the Packers, like they don't do that very often around the league to let QBs sit and let QBs develop. And you look at Rodgers and you look at Love, and it's just if I'm drafting you in the first round, you are going to play ASAP. because usually when you're picking, I'm just going to say like within the top 5, it's because you're a bad football team, right?
Yeah.
Unless you made some trade, in previous years, you're a bad team. There's other guys, maybe it's the head coach, maybe it's the GM that are looking at their jobs, and maybe their jobs are on the line. So they are now, hey, we have to go and draft a QB and we have to start them right away. And so the problem is you have this external pressure, right, of you need to perform and do well. And so because of that, a lot of QBs are thrown into the fire when, again, they're usually going to bad football teams. And this is kind of the stuff that you can get. I mean, Mahomes even sat behind Alex Smith, man. He has talked about it many, many times about how beneficial that was to his career. And now that you have guys who are going to other spots and they're behind like actual O-lines or some better coaches, you can see these kind of resurgences.
Yeah, it reminds me of something very prominent.
Next guest, Luke DeCock.
Excuse me, who?
Luke DeCock.
Who?
Luke DeCock.
Wait, one more time.
Luke DeCock.
We still got to get him on the show.
We got to get Luke DeCock.
And I will praise that man